About a month ago, I made a video talking about how different species could eventually come to Splatoon, and it would be really cool to see a new one rise up, so I just started going through and talking about different animals potentially being in Splatoon as the next version of the Inkling/Octoling. We talked a lot about all these new creatures, but a lot of them had inconsistencies and wouldn't work because of the ink problem, because Inklings and Octolings spread ink, but a lot of the other creatures that I brought up in that video don't spread ink, and it would kind of take away from what Splatoon is about, so that I get. And I was kind of just whatever, it was a fun video at the time until something new came out recently that might actually hint at a future species coming from Nintendo. PandaUniverse8 on Twitter actually had something brought up to their attention on their Discord server, which someone actually found some evidence that could be pointing towards the coming of cuttlefish, or cuttlings, coming as the next species. Now, let me tell you what I'm talking about here. If we go to Hagglefish Market and we just kind of patrol through the area and look at some of the market tents that are above the actual stage, one of the tents ran by one of the jellies actually have plushies hanging from the top of the tent. The two on the right are both Inklings, you can tell by the formation of their head, but the ones on the left, yeah, those two are not Inklings. You can tell by the way that their heads move, there's a little notch at the top, which is in fact kind of a design for a cuttlefish if you look at it, because cuttlefish have kind of these wavy fins on the top of their heads, and their tentacles are a lot different as well. Now, of course, there is a chance that maybe it's just a squished version of the Inkling or something, but it's hard to see. It just looks a lot different than the regular Inkling kind of design that we have, because normally Inklings have this arrow look to them, and this one has more of a smushed kind of squeezed face, and it's a little different, you can tell. And once again, the tentacles don't have those big tentacles at the bottom, they're more skinny and narrow. So with that, I thought that was a cool little Easter egg, but it goes a lot further. If we go to Mincemeat Metalworks, we can go all the way towards the enemy side, and on one of the walls, you can actually see some graffiti. And it's not just graffiti from artwork from people online, it's actually built into the stage, it'll be there every single time. It is a drawing of a cuttlefish with some stickers of Inklings right beside it, which is very, very odd. Yeah, it's just a random picture of a cuttlefish, and I don't even know if there's any other pictures like this in the game, but it's hidden right here on this back wall. Now, Nintendo seems to always be hinting at something in the future, especially with Splatoon now and some of the stuff in the Sunken Scrolls, so this is starting to really look like they're hinting at something with the cuttlefish. But something else was also brought up to Panda Universe within the cuttlefish world. If you go to the lobby and go to the area that looks like it's going to lead to an underground subway through the escalators, there is something interesting on the little screens, so that way when you enter, it'll tell you where you can enter and where you can't. Now, the one that says you can't enter is obviously a symbol of an Inkling arrow, but the one on the left, yeah, that once again looks like a cuttlefish with that little floppy fin towards the top, which is once again extremely interesting. Now, once again, this could just show maybe an Inkling with its arms out, maybe saying you can come in, and the other one saying no, don't enter there. That could very well be possible. But a lot of people have been theorizing that this is where we're going to go for the DLC, and that they're going to take the ropes down when it's ready to go, which could mean in the DLC we're going to have the choice of a new species being a cuttlefish, or a cuttling, or fishling would be pretty cool. Now, let's kind of dive into DLC for a second. Remember the start of the DLC, which was the Octo expansion for Splatoon 2, had us create our own Octoling. So, that has been done before. There is a very good chance that maybe we create our own brand new version of the Inkling being a cuttling or a fishling. Remember how the entire story kind of revolved around that Octoling, and it told us his story and kind of the things that they went through. Would be really cool to see from a fishling's point of perspective. Where have they been this whole entire time? I don't know how they would explain it, but it would be really cool to see it. I mean, we've only seen really one kind of cuttlefish within the entire game, and that's Captain Cuttlefish. So there's gotta be more cuttlefish out there somewhere, right? It can't just be Captain Cuttlefish. It'd be really cool to have a new species. It'd kind of be tied to the Inklings in a way, like a different form of the Inklings, but it would be cool to see just a third option. There's even some really talented artists out there that have made some concept as to what these cuttlefish could look like, these fishlings, I guess you could call them, which would probably work a lot better than cuttlings. So I think there's a good chance we could get a third species in Splatoon 3, and I would say it'd probably happen within the DLC, so look forward to that, because it seems like Nintendo could be hinting at it. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is Nintendo hinting at cuttlefish, or some type of new species coming to the game. Let me know what you think, and thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Splatoon and Nintendo in general. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.